Assassin's Creed Unity looks to be the most ambitious AC yet, and now the Season Pass follows suit. What is going on, guys and girls? I'm Ghost Robo, and today Ubisoft revealed a very forward-thinking and unique Season Pass for their upcoming Assassin's Creed next-gen only title. Now, typically people will sigh when they hear about the Season Pass and its announcement because it's extra money that you have to spend on top of the already $60 game. For the most part, I agree with those people because typically it's just more missions, maybe an extra area, but for the most part, it feels like padded content to swallow more cash out of your wallet. Here, though, with Unity, we've got a $30 Season Pass that is doing something I don't know if I've ever seen before. It's two separate campaigns, one of which is a totally different game from the original baseline AC Unity product. And this, to me, is pretty progressive and pretty darn cool. So we start off with the Dead Kings expansion that is a separate campaign post AC Unity. So it sees Arno going to not Paris, but Saint Denis, another city. He's armed with a guillotine gun, which sounds absolutely terrifying. It fires freaking razor blades? What's going on? I don't know. Taking on the secretive raider faction in catacombs, and there's new side missions, puzzles, and it gives you 3 new Paris co-op missions. So this is a separate campaign, and that is pretty cool. There's some screenshots that show a more dark and sort of mysterious look to what we've already seen from the mainline Unity campaign. But even more interesting is the second part of this DLC, which is called Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Now, at first, I was like blown away that they were going to send Arno to China and this would be just stupidly magical. Now, it's not that great, but it might be even better in its own way. What we're getting is a 2.5D digital download game featuring a female assassin who returns to Beijing to strike out against those who destroyed her brotherhood. It is very beautiful looking. It's got a painterly quality to the art. No video or anything in motion yet, but it looks pretty sexy. And it's sweet that we get to play as a new assassin in a totally new area. China is something that people have wanted for a long time, and perhaps this lays the groundwork for an Asian Assassin's Creed coming in 2015. I don't know, no clear indicators of that, but we've seen enough little hints along the way that I have to imagine the assassins will adventure to that continent soon enough. So it's sort of I'm guessing it's going to be almost like a Shadow Complex type game. I would assume it mixes combat with a few small puzzle-solving elements, kind of Metroid style. That would be my guess. We don't have details on the genre, but based on what you can do with 2.5D, it's side-scrolling, assassins, China, explorable areas. I'm thinking Shadow Complex, Mark of the Ninja, that sort of thing. It'll be sweet to see how the AC franchise translates to that style of design. We've never seen anything like that. We're just used to seeing, Ezio and all the other Altair and Connor and those people existing within a full-fledged 3D world, going from rooftop to rooftop. But how does that play out when it's something drastically different? And I think this is just really unique. It does say that there's going to be new missions and weapons and gear and skills, which you expect from every DLC, but they're taking a very distinct approach here and focusing on separate and new content. So your Season Pass is expanding the Assassin's Creed universe, the Unity universe, rather than just filling in with more fluff. I felt like past AC DLC was pretty lackluster. I know some people got into like the George Washington stuff from AC3, and there was some interesting things from the other games as well. Now, at first you're like, oh my god, China, and then you look at the screenshot and you're like, dang it, that's not what it is. It's a platformer or it's a Metroidvania type game. 2.5D, and I've seen some people complain like, oh, China is so whatever, so cliche and blah 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 blah, but I think that's actually really, really cool of Ubisoft to do it this way. In the past, like I said, I don't think Assassin's Creed has been a franchise that handled DLC well. It felt sort of lackluster, and especially in some of the earlier Ezio games where they like skipped chapters and filled them in, that felt really awkward. But here, existing as a separate campaign, this Dead Kings thing that is post the Unity campaign, like that excites me because it makes sense. Like you play Unity, you're done with that whole area, you've explored everything you can, maybe you've 100%ed it, maybe you're going for achievements, maybe you just played the storyline and messed around with your friends in co-op, but now you get to go to somewhere new and sort of adventure further with Arno, which if he is a likable character or someone that people can really glom onto, that's exciting because it's more content. It reminds me of sort of the BioShock Infinite DLC, where on one hand you had the wave-based single player Clash the Clouds that was like bleh, everyone hated that, and then you had the Burial at Sea, which was taking that universe, those characters, those storylines, and advancing them and exploring them in new directions and new avenues, which I thought was very spectacular. We saw the same thing with The Last of Us and Left Behind, and perhaps we're going towards a trend where we're getting expansion pack based content that, rather than just, like I said, taking the already pre-constructed game and putting in a few more pieces, we get a totally separate puzzle that we get to complete post the main game. And I think what makes this pack unique is, like I said, other games have done expansion-based content, is this totally separate game. So they're bundling in like a wholly different title within the season pass. And maybe that's, in some ways, let's play devil's advocate here. It's a sneaky way to sort of slip in something separate into your season pass, and maybe then boost sales of that. People hear, oh, this was super fun. I'm assuming they'll sell it separately as well. Maybe it's a new entry point for people who are more side-scrolling fans to enter the Assassin's Creed franchise, or it just works in really serpentine ways where, oh, you really like China, this female assassin. Now you want to play Unity, or you play Unity and then don't have the season pass. You don't care about Dead Kings, but you want this separate Chronicles game. I also think it's a nice marketing get for them, because it's a female assassin, and they struggled with that whole debacle earlier in the Unity hype cycle, when people were questioning why there wasn't a female assassin available for play in the co-op missions for Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, while I really get their reasons for that, and if you don't know, in Assassin's Creed Unity co-op, you will always be Arno, and your co-op partner will always be a different looking dude. So it would not make sense to have a female assassin in the game, because you're always Arno, which fits in line with the storyline. It would be very awkward if randomly you changed into a different character within the same Paris city, traversing the same locales, and potentially doing some of the same missions that you could do alone. That would be incredibly it wouldn't match up, it would not flow, and it would be weird. So like the reason that they don't have a female assassin there, to me, makes perfect sense, and I don't think it's anything offensive at all, but it's nice to see them add something that will sort of fill over, hopefully, that flub. And, this game's been in development clearly for a while. It's not like this was a reactionary move, I don't think, but it's nice to see, like I said, variety in the characters. And the assassin from the China game looks really cool. I like the colors. It's like a black-red color scheme. It looks like they're going to do a lot with mist and sort of the way that they use, like I said, that more hand-drawn, painted look. UB Art has made some beautiful games. If we're thinking of like Child of Light, Rayman Legends, perhaps that team is lending some of their skills or their engine. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, there's not a ton of details on this so far, but it's pretty cool. And it says all this content will be available early 2015, and if you pre-order the season pass, you get the exclusive double-handed War Axe. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this stuff. Like, are you someone who wants a season pass that merely gives you more missions and more stuff to do in the game already there? Or do you like this new trend towards expansion pack style content and even separate games? Do you think it's sneaky of them to slip this in, or is it just make the Unity universe that much more enticing, because now it has all of these different pathways that lead to even totally different games and totally different genres? I personally think it's pretty cool, and it has me much more excited than if they were like, open up the new district of Paris and there's more missions and another dude to kill and blah, blah, blah. Assassin's Creed Unity is one of my most anticipated games of the year. It's probably the one I've pinned the most hope on for the fall of 2015. I'm hoping it ends up being my game of the year, and then it resurrects my love for Assassin's Creed. I'm somebody that really enjoyed 1, loved 2 to death, got 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement points. That's the only retail game that I officially got a full, complete achievement set on. So you can see how much I enjoyed just spending time in that world. And for me, I liked Brotherhood a little bit. Revelations was okay. 3 was a disappointment, and I didn't even play much of 4, primarily because I feel the games have become repetitive and that they're just reusing similar mechanics while replacing the scenery and the setting, and those environments have gotten, to me, less and less interesting and less complex. Unity changes things up by introducing new mechanics, messing with some of the mission structure that was previously frustrating, modifying the way that you ascend and descend buildings and approach the free running and climbing, and added verticality to a crazy amount, maximizing the power of the next-gen systems for a bigger, better, and more badass city and game. So I hope that Unity can fully deliver. This season pass looks exciting. If the game is as fun as I'm hoping it's going to be, Dead Kings will be something great to look forward to in early 2015 to sort of bring back Assassin's Creed into the play space. And then this Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, again, just furthers their franchise. Assassin's Creed is the biggest product that Ubisoft has, and so it makes sense for them to expand upon this. I don't know if I want that for every thing they got going on. I'm not sure I need a Watch Dogs side scroller or a Far Cry side scroller, but perhaps it shows their willingness to do interesting things with the properties that they have. On one hand, it's nice to see new IP, and I like them to really innovate and create new characters, new gameplay styles, and new mechanics. But at the same time, for people who love and adore these franchises, it's cool that they're looking at, new ways for you to experience what you already know. It's something that Nintendo does really well with Mario, placing him in different scenarios, and it kind of is, in some ways, really endearing and cool that they're trying to take Assassin's Creed and move it into multiple different sort of game spaces. You've got the mainline Assassin's Creed, and they're doing the last gen one, and they've previously done a Vita version, and now they're doing a 2.5D version. And I do want to point out before we wrap up here that Liberation had a female assassin, and it was a handheld game that moved to an HD sort of remaster on the consoles. And now this 2.5 downloadable game has a female main lead assassin. Are we moving towards a third time's the charm lead female assassin next year? I think that's highly unlikely just because of the demographic and market that they're selling to, but it's a move that might really shake things up and garner them a lot of buzz. So was that something you want to see, a female assassin taking the lead role for whatever Assassin's Creed game comes in 2015? Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments below. Hit that like button if you're pumped for Unity and want to see more of it soon. I can't wait to get my hands on the game whenever that is, and I can't wait to bring awesome content to you guys. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being wonderful. Thank you for being supportive. Have a fantastic day. Drink some much chocolate. Until next time, we'll see you all later.